Here we go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We got another video for you today. Actually, a sponsored one, sponsored by Gearbox and Hopu Games for the release of Risk of Rain 2 Survivors of the Void. It's their first paid DLC for the game. And if you guys have heard me talk about my love for roguelike, especially co-op roguelike games, this is easily one of the best, if not number one. And it is definitely my most played indie roguelike game on Steam, so it's definitely something that you should check out if you haven't already played Risk of Rain 2, let alone looking into checking out Survivors of the Void now that it's released on Steam. It released on March 1st, and if you guys don't know, it's going to be $15. You do need to, if you're going to play with your friends, all of your friends do need to own the DLC, just to let you guys know beforehand. But seeing as this is one of the best roguelikes I've ever played, seeing as this is one of the best indie games I've ever played, I'm throwing all my money at them anyway because I want to play with my friends, and this is one of the best indie games I've played, let alone roguelike games, which you guys know by now if you've seen any of my other content is one of my favorite genres of indie titles. So just to throw out there what Survivors of the Void features, it features 2 new survivors, one that comes already unlocked once you purchase the DLC, which is the Railgunner, which is basically the class that I've manifested since Risk of Rain 2 released. If you've heard me talk about my experience with Risk of Rain in the past, Risk of Rain 1, my favorite class was the Sniper, so getting some type of Sniper class or a successor to the Sniper in Risk of Rain 2 has been an absolute joy. It's easily my favorite class now, easily. There's also the Corrupt Void Fiend. That's the second character that you do have to unlock, which I'm a little rusty, so I have not been able to unlock yet. But maybe you guys, if you have played and you want to let people know in the comments what you think of the Void Fiend. They also added an alternative endgame boss, which, like I said, I'm a little bit rusty. And after about 6 to 8 hours of playing since it released, I have yet to get to the new endgame boss, but I can't wait to check him out. It expands on story and lore, which I'm really excited to see as well. There are 5 new stages, which is absolutely huge because if you guys don't know, every stage has a different track of maps. So there are different maps within each stage. So stage 1 has a group of maps. Stage 2 has a group of maps all the way to stage 5. And they've now added 1 map for each 5 stages, and they all look absolutely phenomenal. Like, I'm just blown away by the environment and the, artistic style of them. They all look great, and they all look like they absolutely fit within Risk of Rain's universe. So I'm having such a blast checking out these new maps. Now, they also added a brand new extra mode. It's called Simulacrum, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. It's a wave-based horde mode, and it is honestly one of the most fun, and I'm not gonna lie, challenging side game modes that I've played in the game yet. Everything else is kind of a twist of the normal game, and this is kind of bringing the secret void level to life with its own mode, and it's so fun trying to survive as long as you can. I think one of my mods said he made it to like wave 50 on his first run, and I'm sitting here struggling at like level 10. However, I am using the new Railgunner and getting my feet wet and trying to get used to this new class as opposed to running like the main class that I used to run when Risk of Rain 2 first came out, like the Engineer, which I'm sure is a powerhouse in the Simulacrum, and I'm sure it would be great for any team to bring in to this new game mode to try and survive as long as possible. They have added 40 new items to Risk of Rain 2. 40! That's a huge number of items, and every item makes builds wilder and crazier and so much more fun. They've also added a new item type, which is void items, where you suffer some damage to your health to get this void item that gives you a unique item and change to the way that items work while also cursing the item of that type. So essentially the idea would be something along the lines of like initial explosion damage when you hit a target, but the will of the wisp, which would explode enemies on kill, is now changed. So if you get a will of the wisp, it would be corrupted and you wouldn't be able to use it, but the void item version of it allows you to get explosive damage on hit. And it's just thinking along the lines of how many items there are and seeing them be changed by void items. It sounds like such a fun, enriching, and new experience for the game. They have 9 new monsters, 2 new bosses, 2 new elite types, and I can't express enough how the little vermin that they've added to the game are probably some of the most annoying critters that I've seen in Risk of Rain, and boy, they make me like get anxious and try to, you know, wipe them out as quick as possible. They've added a new assassin type monster that is invisible right up until they attack, something to completely keep you on your toes and add to the ever-changing experience of Risk of Rain. We have 3 new Interactables. There's a brand new and beautiful soundtrack from Chris, the original composer of Risk of Rain 2, and it's phenomenal. It's incredible. I've listened to it like 20 times now, and it's just constantly playing on my Spotify when I just want to zone out and listen to some video game music. If you guys have never played Risk of Rain 2 and you want to get in head first with this new DLC, if you guys don't know, I could give you a little brief rundown. It's basically a 4-player co-op and seamless co-op roguelike experience where you're dropped in with one of now 12 classes, and you can play with up to 3 friends. And when you're dropped into this world, you kill enemies to get currency, and you use those currencies to open chests. You use those chests to get items, and those items change your build, and it's completely randomized. So it's procedurally generated, which makes every run that much more different and challenging because you have to, on the fly, adapt to whatever your build is becoming and try to make it the most amazing and powerful build to keep you alive as long as possible, or try to get to the boss or now alternative boss that they've added to the game. There's over 75 items in the game, which keeps obviously each run fresh and full of new challenges. You can play to unlock new and returning survivors from Risk of Rain 1. They all have their own abilities, and not only do they have their own starting abilities, but they have abilities to unlock. Each have their own skin to unlock as well for completing it on the hardest difficulty. So the game completely allows you to theory craft, you know, combos, items, and just really see how powerful you can become. And I tell you, when you get an unkillable run, it's one of the most fun feelings I've ever experienced in, honestly, any game, let alone my indie experience. It's just easily one of my favorite co-op experiences with my friends, because when you have a good run going, it's easily a good 2-3 hour experience, and you're so zoned in and you're having such a good time that, again, I just can't stress how it's one of my favorite experiences. I get so lost in a run that it's hours later and I'm ready to jump into another one, even if we've, you know, failed. So I can't express it enough. The Railgunner has been an absolute blast. Being able to manifest a class that I've been wanting since the, you know, beginning early access of the sequel to Risk of Rain. It's just great to have a class that really speaks to me, because even though I'm a little bit of a potato, I love to have those moments where I hit a clean shot with this insanely high-powered rifle and just reap those benefits of destroying and sometimes one-shotting bosses. It's such a blast. Now, like I said, I can't really speak for the Void Fiend, but it looks like this new crazy, you know, chaos versus dark where you're going back and forth between your abilities, and it just seems really, really complex, and I can't wait to get my hands on the Void Fiend. Now, I can't really speak more to the experience of Risk of Rain other than constantly praising how it's easily one of the best roguelikes I've ever experienced, and this being the first paid DLC and having so much content added to it. I have over 280 hours on my Steam profile. I also own the game on my PlayStation. I own the game on my Switch, and to have that much time in this game, and still every time I pick it up I have a fun experience, and even on some bad runs I still have a good time, but it's still one of the most refreshing, fun roguelike experiences I've ever had the joy of checking out. And I'm so thankful, and I feel so honored that Gearbox and Hopu chose me as one of their creators to do some sponsored content for it, because regardless of them even choosing me, I still would have bought Survivors of the Void day one, and being able to play it and show it off and share with you guys my love for this game is one of my favorite things. I really hope that if you guys are Risk of Rain fans, you check out Survivors of the Void, because it proves that not only Hopu have a very bright future for this amazing and incredible game, and hopefully franchise for years to come, because I can't wait to see what they come up with in terms of characters, in terms of procedural generation, in terms of challenges, and I just can't wait to keep checking in and seeing how Risk of Rain 2 or the future of the franchise continues to grow. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this really helped you to understand not only what Risk of Rain 2 is, but Survivors of the Void and all the content it has jam-packed in it to offer. You guys should definitely check this out. I normally feel very uncomfortable telling people how to spend their money, but if you like what you see in the video and you like incredibly fun co-op games that have hours upon hours, again, 280 just on my Steam profile alone of hours, with more to come with Survivors of the Void being released, it's definitely something to check out at such a low price for an indie title. It's a steal, even if you're buying it at full price, in my honest opinion. If you guys didn't know, Survivors of the Void, I think I said it, but if I didn't, Survivors of the Void is released for $15. Make sure to pick that up. I also believe the last time I checked, the base game was on sale. Now, by the time this video comes out, or maybe the time you see it, that might not be the case. But as always, try to keep an eye out for it, and maybe it'll be on sale when you check it out. You know, a nice 50% off deal. Get the game for $12.50 and getting the DLC for another 15 bucks, and you're gonna have hours and hours of content on easily one of my favorite indie titles and roguelike titles. Guys, I'm gonna head out. You guys enjoy the rest of your time. If you're playing Risk of Rain, or if you're not, maybe check it out, look it up. I'll leave a link in the section below so you can check out Survivors of the Void on Steam. And as always, thank you so much for checking out the video. Leave a like, some comments, show some love, and let's show some extra love to Gearbox and Hopu for giving us the opportunity of showing off Survivors of the Void. And I can't wait to see what they have in the future. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful rest of your day.